From Western Arctic.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll enjoy splitting my time today with the member from Acadie Bathurst, a fine member of the House of Commons and one that still holds our great trust as our whip for this party. I want to thank my constituents in my riding. I haven't had an opportunity to do so since I was elected, and before any further action in the House, I'd like to make sure that they know I appreciate their efforts in supporting me in my re-election. And it was an interesting election, a very called at the last moment by a government that wanted to avoid the economic crisis that was coming on us. You know, I also would like to thank the Prime Minister. He took the time along with his cabinet, to visit my riding just the week before the election and spend some time there. And I'd suggest perhaps that people would want to come back when there isn't an election on and try the fishing. You know, you're likely to get a bigger catch that way, and you'll probably enjoy yourself tremendously in the Northwest Territories, which is one of the finest places for fishing in the world. It is a special place, my riding. It gets attention in the throne speech because we know there's development ahead in our riding, ongoing development that has great potential but also great challenges to our population. We need to understand how to regulate that well. We need to understand how to get the advantage out of development, just as all the other provinces have taken advantage from development to build their societies and to build them in a fashion that fits their population. You know, we face tremendous challenges of lack of proper infrastructure. We're expected to move into the 21st century of resource extraction, huge developments where we don't even have proper roads yet. Where this spring one of our main highways into the Northwest Territories was shut down for a month because the road base had completely deteriorated. We can't even upgrade and keep maintenance in our roads because a small population over huge amounts of territory, and those costs are escalating on us all the time. So we, in the Northwest Territories, understand about the lack of infrastructure. We understand about the problems that the lack of infrastructure gives to your society, just as much as people in cities where overpasses are falling down and where proper transit is not yet in place. We're also experiencing rapidly increasing costs. They have been tempered somewhat by the lowering of the price of crude oil in the world, but that's a temporary aberration, and we're sure to be back to the point where the costs of living in the North will continue to escalate in a fashion without proper infrastructure, without the kinds of things that will bring, without the kind of green infrastructure, green investment in renewable energy, in energy efficiency that can make a reasonable and affordable society in the North. We are also facing tremendous impact from climate change. Mr. Speaker, I had an opportunity to discuss with people that are studying permafrost. And over the 8 years that they've been studying the permafrost in the southern HO region of the Northwest Territories, there's been a 20% decline in the permanent permafrost that's within the boreal forest in that region. 20% decline. That changes many things when it comes to infrastructure, road building, many of the other things that we need to accomplish in the North. But it just points to the tremendous changes that we're experiencing in the North and the great need to take hold of those issues still. Corporations working in the North right now are experiencing downturns. We're seeing layoffs in our diamond mines, especially in the expansion of the existing mines. We're seeing layoffs in many of the subcontractors that are working for these mines. We're seeing layoffs in the exploration companies that are looking for new resources across northern Canada. We're seeing layoffs in the aviation industry, which is a very key indicator of the kind of activity that's going on. And this is taking place right across all of northern Canada. So we are seeing a downturn in the economy. It's one that bodes very much problem for the future of Canada. Without exploration, without the opportunities to understand what we have, we're going to find ourselves falling behind in our main business, which is resource development. That is what we do in the North, and that's what we'll likely to continue to do. The corporations don't need tax cuts, they need infrastructure investment. Infrastructure investment will reduce their costs, can reduce their environmental footprint, can make a better place for the North. This economic and fiscal statement really fails to meet the needs that are in front of us. Why? It's misleadingly optimistic and does not address the real issues ahead of us. We're in a resource-based export economy. Commodities have just suffered their largest downturn in over 30 years. This happened within the last 4 months. The impact on manufacturing and forestry in this country was ongoing and continues for a number of years and matches to the more immediate economic impacts that we're seeing in every other industrialized country. The true problem in our economy will come after many other economies that have more secondary production have seen downturns. Our downturn is yet to come. So we must be very careful with what we're doing. The contraction in the world economy will hit us harder and will be more apparent in the months to come. This doesn't come forth in this document. This document doesn't speak to the future of this country. It makes these projections based on air. We need our own plan for reinvestment. Government cannot leave this to the private sector through the tax cuts and expect that the kind of infrastructure that's required for the growth of all of us will take place. We need to change as well our directions in infrastructure. We need to make investments in infrastructure that will lead us to a greener future. We can't look on this downturn as simply a matter of surviving and moving on with the same economy that we have. We need to change. We need to move ahead with a new vision for this country. What else is wrong with this statement? Many of the issues presented in the economic statement were of a partisan, combative, and petty nature. While some of these have been withdrawn, they leave all of us in the opposition assured of our opinion that this Conservative administration can't be trusted. How can we trust this government for a substantive, effective, and timely economic intervention in a budget that's going to come a little later on when they present this kind of case to us today? When they show their nature, when they show that they're willing to cloud the very important economic issues that are in front of us with these petty little games playing that they've chosen to take up. And I think all Conservative members understand what I'm talking about here. We need a parliament that works. We need a parliament that can deliver results, that can bring us all on side. We don't need this kind of action in this parliament. I saw this for the last 2.5 years. I saw the bullying that went on. I saw the way that this government developed its majority through badgering rather than through cooperation. I don't see this changing here. I was hoping for change. When I came into this parliament, I was hoping that this government would give us real direction for cooperation. Instead, what we saw was more of the same kind of treatment that made us tired of this place in the last parliament, made us realize that instead of cooperating, we were confronting on so many issues that really, as Canadians, we had no reason to do so. Mr. Speaker, we need an attitude change in here. We need an attitude change in this parliament. And the only way that we see as the opposition right now to accomplish that is the directions that we're moving in. If we can do this, we can deliver results for this country. We can make a difference for this country. Without it, it'll be more of the same. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.